Hello everyone, this is Wolf. Just giving you guys, for those of you who've been waiting on Rise of the Reich, Hearts of Iron, not quite sure what I call it in the end, map. I'll give you guys an update on where it is, how stuff's going, etc. Diplomacy menu, of course. This is pretty much finished, just waiting for the actual multiplayer implementation. But besides that, you know, custom icon, new interface, much smoother, probably not going to bug out as much. Espionage is probably going to wait for a while, as well as the help menu. I wanted to show you most of all though is the research menu. Here we are with the brand new research menu. And the way it works is you click on a research. Now there's more information shown here, but for instance this is early infantry. It initiate research button, and as you can see there it's researching, and you can add multiple researches to the queue, and when these buttons are actually working, shift the queue as you like and it will save your current how much research you've already put in the queue, etc. So most of the core mechanics are nice and working. We're just adding in functionality and graphics and all that stuff to it. Right now you can also pause the research. The cancel button is not hooked up at the moment, but that'll be hooked up later on, as well as a cancel research button is on top of it. Besides that, things here are going pretty well and going pretty quickly. I'm thinking, actually optimistically, I'll have something ready to play a lot sooner than I originally thought, so maybe before Christmas. We're going to have to see though, it's going to take some time. This is the kind of tech tree I've been thinking about and talking to people about. It's very graphically oriented, everything divided into era text. This first column is kind of the 1918 and 1936 column. The second column is kind of around the 1940 era column. And the next column after that's the 1943 and 1945 column. Now there are a few more texts here that will be available for other races and some not available, but this is pretty much the USA tech tree as it now stands. So that's about it on that line. Now the total units, let's go to the data editor here real quick. I'm going to show you what we've been doing for units here. Pretty much every close to a manageable unit is going to be in here. Right now I'm getting all the default stuff in there. The way it works, let's go back to the tech tree here, is when the first one is researched, you get the 4 GIs and then 1 GI machine gunner in an infantry platoon or squad. And then the motorized infantry gives you 4 GIs, 1 GI machine gunner, and 1 truck. The truck is going to be kind of a support unit that can also carry units and move them farther, because infantry are going to move a lot slower. Because of the tactical orientation, it actually makes sense to do this. The tactical focus on the map, unlike the more strategic, broad focus of World War II Diplo or Fate of the Empire. The 1940 infantry weapons, which is this guy right here, is going to give you an extra 1 GI bazooka for that infantry squad. The mechanized infantry replaces the truck with an M2 half-track, giving you much more capability. Now the half-track and perhaps the truck are going to be upgradable, so you can choose not to use it as a carrier, instead carry like something like a small howitzer or a small anti-tank gunner or a mortar or something like that. A lot of focus is going to be on unit upgrades instead of just raw unit count. Although unit count is still going to be quite substantial. The 1943 infantry weapons, basically going to add the M8 Greyhound armor car to the infantry platoon. So that's 1 platoon there for pretty much everything. Might also enable stuff, there's also airborne here, so there's an airborne platoon. And the early armor, that's going to be a case of either M5 Stuart light tanks or an M3 medium tank, which is what you see on the picture there. After that it goes to the M4 A1 Sherman. And you might be able to also get the M6 heavy tank from that tech as well. Then the last one is the M26 heavy tank, or the M4A3E8 upgrade to the M4A1 Sherman, also replacing it in the build order. Also might unlock stuff like the T-29 and other potential things, as well as the M36 if you have self-propelled artillery enabled. Now this one, as you can see here, is the M10 tank destroyer in the picture. You can enable things like the M7 Priest self-propelled artillery piece, the M10 and the M18. The difference between self-propelled and basic artillery, or the regular artillery, is that self-propelled does not need to be deployed ahead of time. With regular artillery, you need to deploy it to fire, and also moves a lot slower. Self-propelled can keep up with things like armor formations and fast-moving infantry half-tracks and all that. So there's definitely advantages there. Then there's basic artillery, which is the M3 anti-tank gun and the 75mm howitzer. Then this one, the heavy artillery, goes to the M5 anti-tank gun and the 155mm long tom. And optional rocket artillery. This is just basically going to enable an upgrade for the Sherman. It's called the Calliope upgrade. So that's going to give you added advantages there. And it's mostly going to be a special ability added to the Sherman. It's nothing more beyond that. Then there's the aircraft. Starting out, gives you the P-40 Warhawk. Dive bombers, I'm still not sure I'm going to keep this, but it gives you the A-25. Then there's the P-51B Mustang, and that can enable the going down here to the B-17 or B-29 strategic bombers. There's a P-41 as well as the P-51D Mustang, as well as the P-47 Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt giving you tactical strike capability, and that can lead to the Bell jet engine fighter there, which is currently not enabled. And then there's the ship technology. Now, early ship technology for the Americans can enable one escort squadron of 3 Farragut and 1 Omaha class light cruisers, also 1 Lexington class carrier, which is what you see in the picture, and 1 Colorado class battleship, or 1 Barracuda class submarine. Then there's 1940 ship technology, which is the middle one here. That leads to an escort squadron of 3 Fletcher and class destroyers and 1 Brooklyn class light cruiser, or 1 North Carolina class battleship, 1 Yorktown, or 1 1 Yorktown class carrier, 1 Gatto class submarine. The one below it, of course, is the destroyer sonar upgrade. Not available to nations like Germany, USSR, but it's going to give you extended detection range for submarines. Then there's a 1943 class ship technology upgrade, which is going to lead to 1 escort squadron of 3 Gearing and 1 Cleveland class Gearing class destroyers, 1 Cleveland class light cruiser. Also 1 Iowa or potentially unlockable Montana class battleships, 1 Essex or potentially unlockable Midway class carriers, and 1 Tang or potentially unlockable Barbell class submarines. And Germany is going to get an additional electro submarine upgrade from there, which is practically undetectable. And that's pretty much it for the tech tree. I mean, lots of units in here. The actual gameplay, for instance, when you upgrade from the early ship technology to the later ship technologies, you're going to change the buttons so you can't build the older units. So the actual buildable naval count is only 4 units. 4 actual buttons you need to build. And keeping it down below 14 as possible. That is pretty much it. So anyways, I hope you guys liked it. For those of you who are interested in the map, please let me know on the forum post or in chat and game, etc. Also, we're trying to build a diplomacy community on the TeamSpeak, which is teamspeak.gamingrapture.net. No password. You'll find me Fockwolf on there. You can come on and enjoy getting some good diplomacy games started. I am the maker of World War Zombies Reanimated. I'm also one of the makers of Greed or Great Lakes Diplomacy, and I'm the maker of World War II Diplo and Fate of the Empire. So we've got 3 diplomacy maps going right now. Pretty much the highest count of anyone out there for StarCraft 2, so I think we can get together and have some good fun. Alright, take it easy.